On the one side tonight, Maroof Raza is joined by General Bakshi, Sushil Pandita, activist, and Khalid Jehangir, spokesperson of the J KBJP. He's joining us from Srinagar. Sitting there with Khalid Jehangir is Maulvi Ejaz, advocate of the Jammu and Kashmir High Court, who has the contrary point of view, Brijesh Kalappa of the Congress Party, and Pirzada Mohd Amin Shah, who is secretary of the Muslim Personal Law Board, Jammu and Kashmir. Gentlemen, let's debate. Now, first question goes out to Pirzada Mohd Amin Shah. Pirzada Mohd Amin Shah, there's a self-declaration form that anyone who wants an Indian passport must sign. And I'm just holding it up for you. Yeah. I don't know if you have a TV near you, sir. But I'm holding it up for you. It says, I owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. First line. Yeah. My question to you, sir, is, does Mr. Geelani owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India?
Arnab ji, good evening to you. So far the passport of Geelani is concerned, it was given to him in 1980. Then again it was given him to 1995.
Doesn't matter.
Then 2007.
Doesn't matter.
Listen to me, sir. Listen to me, sir.
So does he owe? Please answer my question, sir. Does he? No, one second. Listen to me. Listen to me.
My answer.
Does he owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India, which is a basic qualification required for anyone to get a passport?
Yes.
Does he?
जो मैं कहने जा रहा हूँ उसी में उसका जवाब है. So far, passport of Geelani is concerned. मैंने ये जो reference दी है 80, 95, 2007, 2011 उसमें deny किया था. जो उस वक्त particulars उसमें भरे थे, whether he is true Indian, whether he is Kashmiri, whether he is something else.
It's not a true Indian or Kashmiri. 1 second. There is, by the way, how can you say a true Indian or Kashmiri? All Kashmiris, if they want an Indian passport, all are Indians. There is no true Indian or Kashmiri. Please don't say that. You are either Indian or not Indian.
My question is the passport.
Does he owe allegiance
to the time?
Sir, you listen to me, sir.
The passport authority at that time gave him the passport.
So what? If they made a mistake, they shouldn't have given him the passport. Now, I think, sir, the government at that time probably went soft. But why should this government go soft? Because calling for a boycott, D Bakshi, I want to get D Bakshi in. Calling for a boycott of Indian elections is not upholding the sovereignty and integrity of India. Confabulating with Pakistan to pursue an agenda that violates the sovereignty and integrity of India is not upholding the sovereignty and integrity of India. Right? How can he ask for an Indian passport? D Bakshi, please. D Bakshi.
So far,
D Bakshi countering you. D Bakshi first. D Bakshi.
Arnab, I would like to state unequivocally that I do not understand this new category of privilege. When I, as an Indian citizen, fill up my passport form, I have to sign this declaration. I have to state whether I am an Indian by birth, or by registration, or by adoption. You know, I mean, I have to fill up all those clauses. How is this gentleman who waves Pakistani flags on Indian soil, who asks for the breakup of the Indian Union, who openly acts in a seditious manner, not only is action not being taken against him, but he is being given a VVIP privilege of not signing mandatory portions of a passport application. This is discrimination against
It's an insult to the Indian state.
Citizens. And I want to know, which is this new class of privilege? A class of separatist privilege? You get privilege if you want to break
Take it back.
Country. You should bloody well go to jail.
And by the way, I don't understand on what basis, and he talks about humanitarian issues. Maulvi Ejaz, let me come to you next. Humanitarian issues, right? What were his humanitarian concerns for the families of Colonel M.N. Rai and Head Constable Sanjeev Kumar Singh killed in the encounter in Tral when he described their murderers as martyrs? Where was his humanitarian concern for the civilians and soldiers who have died at the hands of the Pakistani army and their terrorist friends when he was waving Pakistani flags at his rally? What humanitarian concerns should we have for a person as unapologetic about his being a pro-Pakistani element as Geelani? In fact, I think, Maulvi Ejaz, it's a nice opportunity for us to pack up this man Geelani and send him across the border. Because if he's so desperate to travel abroad, let him go to Pakistan, seek asylum in Pakistan, get a visa from Pakistan and then travel to Saudi Arabia. If he has to be getting an Indian passport, he has to owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. He cannot be given an exception. Nobody can.
Ask me this question?
Yes, the question is to you, sir.
To Maulvi Ajaz, to me.
To you, Maulvi Ajaz.
First of all, I'll tell you, sir, that first of all, I'll tell you, if you are hearing me properly, that the Kashmir dispute is not a cup of tea for the politicians of either India or for Pakistan to
solve. Sir, a passport is not a bus ticket either. A passport of India is sacred. It's not a bus ticket.
You please hear me.
So I'm hearing you, but the passport of India is not a bus ticket. You can buy or sell.
No. I'm telling you that first hear me. It's not a cup of tea for the Indian or Pakistani politicians to solve the Kashmir problem, because it's
this is not about the Kashmir problem. This is about an Indian passport. This is about an Indian passport, sir. A person who acts against India cannot get an Indian passport.
It is enough if Mr. Geelani has said that he is hereditary state subject of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, that entitles him the passport of India.
Absolutely wrong.
All legal means.
Absolutely wrong. You are a lawyer, but you don't know the law. You are a lawyer, but you don't know the law.
You are not aware of the latest judgment.
Sir, you are not aware of the law.
Supreme Court of India.
Sir, I'm sorry. Can I read out to you? I don't.
Judgment of the Supreme Court of India.
Sir, let me tell you. Let me tell you a couple of things. Sir, sorry.
The Supreme Court of India reported in AIR 2014, para 2, page 2424, para 46 and 47. First of all, read this judgment of the Supreme Court of India.
You don't have to go into something so complicated. I'll tell you something.
If you are not conscious about it,
I'll tell you something. No, one sec.
I can then hold a book for you and read this para.
Hold it for me, and I'll hold it for me, and I'll read out. Okay, since you have that book, sir, 1 second. Can I request you? Can I request you, Mr. Maulvi Ajaz
of the Supreme Court of India?
Maulvi Ajaz, may I request you?
For him that he has said that he is permanent resident of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, that gives him the passport.
Sir, you don't know the facts. Sir, you don't know the facts. Let me educate you. Sir, you don't know the facts. Let me educate you. Mr. Ajaz, you don't know the facts. You don't know the law in this case. You don't know the appropriate law in this case. You don't know which part of the law applies in this case. And let me read out to you, sir.
Seats are vacant for the Azad
Mr. Ajaz,
occupied Kashmir for the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Mr. Ajaz, don't make irrelevant
that
points,
part
please.
Also and this part
don't
also two parts together form one part. Therefore, he did not to be deputed and all that. You read this section 48 of Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir.
Sir, do you have
notwithstanding anything contained in section 47 until the area of state under the occupation of Pakistan ceases to be so occupied, and the people residing in that area elect their representatives, 24 seats in the Legislative Assembly shall remain vacant and shall not be taken into account for reckoning the total membership of the Assembly, and the state area shall be excluded in delimited.
Maulvi Ajaz, you are an Indian national, right?
Kashmir,
one second. Are you an Indian national?
Of India via Article
Maulvi Ajaz, you are an Indian national?
And for understanding the legal position of Article 370,
now keep the book aside.
It is the status quo order as if it is passed by some court, that the position will remain same as it existed at the time of accession.
Have you finished?
And what was the position at the time of
accession? Have you finished?
The state of India is held by the Supreme Court of India in these terms. In para 47 AIR Supreme Court.
So what are you doing?
2014. It says that section.
What are you doing? Sushil Pandita is laughing at this tonight. What's going on here, Sushil Pandita?
It is an agreement. But in our opinion,
Sushil Pandita, what's going on?
Adulterated hypocrisy.
Agreements which are not political.
Sushil Pandita,
it is clear from the purpose of section 7 as it deals with lapsing of sovereignty of majesty over the Indian state.
Stop him. He'll read the entire constitution.
I have to stop. I have to stop. No, one second. The problem with Maulvi Ajaz. By the way, I'll request Khalid Jehangir. Khalid Jehangir, you're sitting next to him. Can you tell him to stop, please, Khalid Jehangir? No, can you tell him to stop, because he's reading the
political treaties and agreements. That means
I just want to come in.
Indian.
अच्छा जरा एक मिनट रुक जाए please.
I totally agree.
Mr. Arnab.
One second. No. One second. By the way, Maulvi Ajaz जरा रुक जाए 2 मिनट. और आपके पास बैठे हैं खालिद जहांगीर, सुशील पंडिता भी इधर है. इतना आपको मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, इतनी आप डोंट वर्क सो हार्ड. Don't have to read out everything. All you have to do, unfortunately for you, Maulvi Ejaz, personal level, we have great respect for you. I don't want to correct a lawyer like you on national television, but I'll request you, can you pull out please? Sir, can you, sir, जरा सुन ले मेरी बात, आपको मैं थोड़ा एडुकेट कर देता हूँ. जरा आप मुझे अगर बुरा ना माने तो इतने किताबें आपके पास में, जरा मुझे पासपोर्ट एक्ट ऑफ 1967 सेक्शन 6 ऑल सबसेक्शंस जरा निकाल के बताएं. अरे जरा बताएं ना मुझे पासपोर्ट एक्ट. आपको पासपोर्ट एक्ट पता नहीं है? You don't know about the passport act?
When you don't,
what does the Passport Act say?
Of India,
you tell me what does the Passport Act says? Listen to me. Now I'll read out for you. Now I'll read out for you, sir. Now I'll read out for you. There are reasons for refusal of passports. Sun lijiye please. Sir, there are reasons for refusal of passports and travel documents, which means that if the applicant may or is likely to engage in such country in activities prejudicial to the sovereignty and integrity of India, that the presence of the applicant in such country may or is likely to be detrimental to the security of India, that the presence of the applicant in such country may or is likely to prejudice the friendly relations of India with that country, that in the opinion of the central government, the presence of the applicant in such a country is not in the public interest. What it basically says is a passport is not a right, a passport carries with it a national duty. And if he does not believe in that duty, let him not ask for a passport in the first place. Sushil Pandita, please. So I am saying tonight, Geelani should publicly, I am telling you a public forum, let him address a rally. Let him address a rally and revoke his allegiance to his military masters in Pakistan.
That's for you.
Let him go and say, I am sorry for behaving like a Pakistani agent. I now want an Indian passport.
Democratic country.
Don't teach me about democracy. Sushil Pandita, please. Sushil Pandita.
Mr. Lawyer,
Arnab,
Sushil Pandita.
A passport is not a right. It's a privilege. It comes with duties. You cannot demand one, you have to deserve one.
Absolutely.
You cannot be allowed.
Vis-a-vis Kashmiris, you are wrong.
Let him speak.
Sir, you live in a delusionary world.
That is the fundamental duty of the Constitution.
You live in a delusionary world.
Give passport to every Kashmiri, whosoever he is.
No, sir.
I'll show you. Please debate with me legally. I am not a politician.
In fact, separatists have been spoiled rotten in the last 60 years because they have been given whatever they have demanded. Gone are the days now.
Demanding. This is a lawyer saying
you cannot get away.
I have debated these questions in the High Court at Perchandi.
I don't understand what legal argument are you building up, Mr. Ejaz? Mr. Ejaz, let me make a fundamental point, please. I've heard enough of this legal argument. The point is, a person says I'm not a citizen of India. Sorry, 1 second. Maroof, the issue is very simple. Mr. Ejaz, don't try and capsize the debate, please. Mr. Ejaz, listen logically, please. I want Brijesh Kalappa and Maroof to come into the debate, and before that, I want to go to Khalid Jehangir. Khalid Jehangir, zara mujhe bataएं आप. Khalid Jehangir, 1 second, please. Mr. Ejaz, stop. Time over, please. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second, sir. Gentlemen, by the way, Khalid Jehangir, you tell me. Maroof, I'm coming to you. I want to spend some time.
If not allowing others to speak, reduce his volume.
No, I'm going to request him to. Mr. Ejaz, please. Yeah. The point, Maroof, before I come to you, I want to go to the JNK-BJP spokesperson who's been waiting to speak. A person who says, I am not an Indian citizen. I don't believe in being in India. Goes around begging for an Indian passport.
Resident of Kashmir.
He's not. He says, I'm not a citizen of India. I don't believe in the Republic of India. I'm not an Indian. If you're not an Indian, why on earth do you want an Indian passport? I want Khalid Jehangir to come in. Khalid Jehangir, please. Khalid Jehangir, please.
Let me repeat what General Bakshi Sahab has said. He is very much correct. That whosoever is separate, he should not have a VIP treatment. The same way, who doesn't believe in Indian Constitution should not have the privileges under the Constitution of India and under the democratic country. And regarding what Moli Saab has said, the state subject passport office doesn't take state subject as a document. It what you have said, that they have to show as a sovereignty as an Indian citizen. If Geelani Saab writes that he is an Indian citizen, we have no problem. That means from last 25 years, what he was preaching is all wrong. Let him write. We are not objecting his passport.
And the other option is there, Maroof, all the time. No. That he should cross over to Pakistan. 1 second. Maroof and Brijesh Kalappa, please. Yes, Maroof.
Arnab, Arnab, may I bring out to the distinguished lawyer and various other guests who are on the panel 4 or 5 quick points. If you look on the internet, everyone quotes the example that India is a democracy, why is it denying people democratic rights? As was rightly brought out by Mr. Pandita, passport is a privilege, it's not a right. But anyway, if you look at the US documents which say when a passport will be rejected, 2 grounds are given very clearly with Mr. Geelani is falling into. One is if you leave any column of the passport form incomplete or blank, then the passport application be rejected. And this is the quoting, I'm quoting from the US documents which are there on the internet. Now, Mr. Geelani did not fill in what is his citizenship in the latest application. Second thing is that it says any act which is seen to be detrimental to the interest either of the United States, and the same thing is said by the UK Passport Office and a statement given by the UK Home Secretary also, which is there again on the net, that acts which are seen to be detrimental to the interests of the country will be taken against the person, and the UK government can deny the person a passport. So why are we suddenly being asked to perform at a level when other democratic countries whose example is often quoted is not following? The second thing I want to bring out to the distinguished guest, look at Pakistan. Look at the Constitution of Pakistan of 1974, which is the one most people agree is more or less the functional constitution, though they have had 4 variants of the constitution, in which Zulfikar Bhutto had made it mandatory that for the citizens of POK, what we call and they call Azad Kashmir, if they choose any other allegiance other than the state of Pakistan, forget a passport, it will be seen as an act of treason. Here we have spoiled them for years and years by giving them passport, travel documents, security, VIP treatment, whole lot of things. It's not just Mr. Geelani, it's Shabir Shah, it's Yasin Malik. They take an Indian passport and go and hobnob with Hafiz Saeed, who's the killer of Indian citizens. They take Indian passports and go to the United Nations and abuse India. Is this the level of self-respect that this country has? That we are allowing people to walk all over our dignity and our sovereignty simply in the name of democracy? I want answers from that, the distinguished lawyer. Whatever his claims about Kashmir's citizens and Kashmiri state subjects, please tell us, sir, will you allow people to walk on your Kashmiri dignity? You know, you are not willing to accept that. You expect the Indian state to accept humiliation, abuse, and all sorts of activities which are detrimental to India's interests and security. And you still want us to feed and pamper them? They're most welcome to pack up their bags and leave India. Absolutely. And go and live anywhere else and abuse us. And if we get our hands on them, we will strangle them.
May I reply your this question by a question? If you permit me, that I will reply your question by a simple question.
Arnab, it's a simple. Everybody has to come in line.
Hello. No, the simple point is
it has to be given. No VIP privilege to anybody.
As it was very clearly pointed out by one of our people who have sent us a tweet today, Brijesh Kalappa, coming to you. The point one of our viewers asks is, in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, if you wave a Pakistani flag, an Indian flag in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and you say I owe my allegiance to India, will the Pakistani government give you a Pakistani passport? No.
They'll give them a bullet.
So why do you expect different treatment here in India?
No,
the point, so don't give me these hyper-technical arguments, please. Will Geelani owe his allegiance to India? The passport application demands it.
For too long, they've been mollycoddled. They've been allowed to get away with it.
Absolutely. Arnab, there is one more point.
No, I want Brijesh Kalappa to come in. Brijesh, should the government take a clear line on this one? Brijesh.
If you are ready,
I'd just like to preface what I'm going to say. by just this, Arnab, that over the last couple of months, we have had a stone thrower like Masharat Alam. We have seen him being released from jail, and he went outside and then he raised, Pakistan slogans. He waved the Pakistani flag. Then there has been another instance of a lady called Asiya Andrabi, and who's also unfurled the Pakistani flag within Indian soil. And this is all happening over the last 3-4 months. Now we see that Geelani is going to be denied a passport. I'm asking, is this sufficient punishment for his sins? Is just the denial of a passport sufficient?
No, but you take a position on it. Are you for or against it? Don't be wishy-washy. Don't be wishy-washy. No, don't be. Do you want him to be given or not given a passport? Forget whether it's enough. Do you want him to be denied a passport?
No,
why did you give him a passport when you were in power? Why did you give him a passport when you were in power, sir? Tell me.
The situation never came in.
Situation never came? Maroof, you accept that? The Congress party says situation never came. You were the ones who mollycoddled him all this while.
Come on, Arnab. Let me remind Mr. Kalappa, let me remind you. Mr. Kalappa, let me remind you. Geelani was caught. Mr. Kalappa, let me remind you that Geelani was caught receiving bags of money from the Pakistani High Commission. He repeatedly has received funding. What are you saying?
Responsible for the killing of 112.
What are you saying, sir?
By stone throwing. We never had a situation like this where he was released. This is the first time this is all happening. Of course, and the government has to take very serious measures. But is the denial of...
I'm sorry. No, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, you are the ones who are responsible for it. One second.
Mr. Kalappa,
no, Maroof, let me correct 46, Mr. Kalappa for a minute.
You had 46 charges against Masharat Alam and you did nothing.
We have never had a person like Masharat Alam ever being released. This is for the first time it's happening. BJP government.
But when you had him in custody, why didn't you punish him?
Yeah. Of course we did. Who did not punish him?
Sir, you didn't.
You had him in custody for 46 charges against him.
We are the ones who saw to it that Lakwi remained in jail.
In 2011, Brijesh Kalappa, in 2011, one second. Brijesh Kalappa, by the way, one second. Let me remind you, one second. A few historical facts, Maroof, need to be told to Brijesh Kalappa. The historical fact is that in 2011, when the UPA 2 government was in power, Mr. Kalappa, please listen. Please listen. Let the people of this country know chapter, para and verse. What you people were up to when you were in power. You are the ones who allowed these people like Mr. Geelani to get away. I will let Sushil Pandita also come in at this part of the debate. But I want to, Mr. Kalappa, please listen. I'm going to share something with you. I'm going to share something with you right now. Please listen, Mr. Kalappa. Syed Shali Shah Geelani
has been unfurling the national flag, singing the Pakistani national anthem. This is all happening for the first time, Arnab. This is all happening for the first time.
Please stop, Mr. Kalappa. I'll prove you wrong. I'll take just 15 seconds. I will take 15 seconds to prove you wrong, Mr. Kalappa. I will take 15 seconds to prove you wrong. I'm sorry. No, 1 second. 1 second, gentlemen. I'll take 15 seconds to prove you wrong. Mr. Sushil Pandita will come into the debate after that. Sir, Maroof, 1 second. Maroof, 1 second. Let me prove Mr. Brijesh Kalappa wrong. Let the people of this country know how these people have been mollycoddled. Syed, again you are going on, Mr. Kalappa. You'll have to stop for a while. Stop for just 15 seconds, okay? In December 2011, a dangerous Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist called Atesha Malik was arrested by the Delhi police for getting a visa to Pakistan. Okay, this Atesha Malik had got training for fabrication of improvised explosive devices, and the Pakistani ISI had trained him in ways to kill the maximum number of Indians possible. They had particularly trained him, and the Pakistanis told him this is the way to use IEDs, wires, flash powder and crackers and sulfuric acid. Okay. Now, who was the person who was providing him all the support to travel in and out of Pakistan to get terrorist training from the ISI? That person was, for your kind information, Mr. Syed Ali Shah Geelani. In fact, Syed Ali Shah Geelani, as it was later found out, let me complete now, let me complete, don't stop me when I'm on a point, don't stop me when I'm on a point. This man was running an export-import service for terrorists, He was giving recommendation letters to the Pakistan High Commission, and that's how these people are being transported. And the instructions from Pakistan were clear that Mr. Geelani send us people who are determined to kill hundreds of Indians in big bomb blasts. Okay, this is the kind of man who you had information against. Don't say it's happening for the first time. He's been doing it for a long time. What did you do? You gave him a passport, you treated him well, you gave him security, you pampered him, you allowed him to do all this, and you never stopped him, and you had meetings with him, and I think Mr. Kalappa, you insulted the Indian Constitution, and you broke the rules of the Passport Act. Why did you break the rules of the Passport Act? Why did you not withdraw his passport? Why did you not withdraw his passport, sir?
To listen to me.
Sushil Pandita, can they say it was happening for the first time? Sushil Pandita.
Not at all.
Can they say it's happening for the first time? Sushil Pandita is saying something. Sushil Pandita to Brijesh Kalappa.
Called off Foreign Secretary level talk,
sir,
because the High Commissioner of Pakistan spoke to the separatists. Then what happened subsequently?
Mr. Congress spokesperson.
Foreign Secretary across the country.
Mr. Congress spokesperson.
Mr. Whoever you are, I don't want to describe you.
Sushil Pandita, activist.
Pandita, I don't want to describe you. Don't try to, shout me down.
I'm not shouting you down.
I'm asking you, are you aware of what happened in August?
You are shouting everybody else down, Mr. Kalappa.
I'm asking you, are you aware of what happened in August of 2014? Was it not the Prime Minister of the country who took a decision that since the separatists had met the Pakistan High Commission, they are going to withdraw Foreign Secretary level talks? Then what happened 3 months later when he did a deal with the separatists? He got
Mr. Kalappa, okay, now let the others come in. Mr. Kalappa, please.
This is there in his government just now. What
Mr. Kalappa,
Sushil Pandita.
Mr. Kalappa, can I answer?
Was let scot-free.
Would you please let me talk, Mr. Kalappa?
It's thanks to you. It's thanks to you, Arnab, that Mashrat Alam was again re-arrested. I must compliment you. But what about
Mr. Kalappa?
Why she's still at large? And
Mr. Kalappa, it doesn't lie in the mouth of Congress to ask these questions.
Geelani only just denial of a passport? Is that good enough for all?
But yes, take away the passport.
Mr. Kalappa,
I'm asking you this question.
Snatch the passport away.
Thrown into Pakistan?
Snatch the passport away. Deny him the passport.
Mr. Kalappa,
Arnab, I think
you cannot ask these questions. Let me remind you, in 2011, barely a kilometer away from Indian Parliament,
don't keep reminding
the same Mr. Geelani
Mr. Pandita, don't
spewed venom against India.
What you don't need to remind me, I know of those events. Just answer the questions I have posed to you.
I am asking you.
I am asking you. The last 1 year. Has the situation ever been so grim?
Are you in a position to ask any question on these matters?
Mr.
Kalappa, you have no...
Mr. Kalappa, Arnab, can I just make one point?
Mr. Kalappa, Arnab, for your information and for your viewers...
Mr. Kalappa, please.
Mr.
Kalappa, please, Maroof and all are requesting you, please.
You're in a position to ask questions.
Okay, don't run away with the debate, please. 10:35 p.m. I'm letting Sushil Pandita and Maroof Raza come in, please. 1 second, Mr. Kalappa. Let's go to the others as well.
Listen.
Yeah, Sushil Pandita.
1 kilometer away from...
Mr. Kalappa, just one quick point.
Yes.
One quick point.
Okay, okay.
Maroof, just a moment.
Maroof, just let Sushil Pandita come in. I'm coming to you after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barely a kilometer away from the Parliament of India, at Little Theatre Group 4 years ago, Mr. Geelani and Arundhati Roy spewed venom against India. They caused disturbances, they caused violence, and they clearly...
a situation like the present.
Let him speak.
They clearly provoked... They called people to arms.
The present day. I hope you...
They called people to arms.
Pandita, who is a...
I was there.
Understand what I'm saying. There has never been...
You try and understand what I am asking. Will you please try and understand?
Don't try to...
Will you please try and understand what I am asking?
Mr. BJP Pandita, listen to what I am saying.
Will you please now hear what I have to say?
You are the one who is shouting and you're telling others not to shout.
Will you please...
You have nothing substantial to say. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Brijesh Kalappa, I'm going to move on if you continue like this, please. By the way, we are getting stuck in this. We are not moving on into the debate. 1 second, Maroof, what is the critical point? No, 1 second. I'm going to Maroof now. The critical point is what? The critical point is, we believe, Maroof, that this man should not get a passport if he does not show his allegiance and loyalty to the sovereignty and integrity of India. And I think
Arnab,
the
even
BJP
if he
government...
fills up that column, even if he says he's an Indian, will he deserve this passport?
See, I'll tell you, Sushil...
Are we willing to be pulled so much wool over our eyes by him?
No, Sushil Pandita, Geelani has to publicly declare himself as a citizen of India voluntarily. He's applying...
Even if he lies.
He's applying for an Indian passport, knowing fully well that the application form has a series of criteria.
One has to fulfill those guidelines.
Pardon me, sir?
Has to fulfill the form.
Sir, the Indian government... Sir, 1 second. He has to give us an assurance that he will not carry out anti-India activities. Will he give us that assurance?
Exactly.
Will he? Will he? Tell me, sir.
Why not?
Tell me, Pirzada Mohd Amin Shah, will he give us that assurance?
Yes, sir.
Will he?
Why not? When it has been mentioned in his application that this is purely ये कोई political नहीं है.
Okay, will he terminate all his contacts with the ISI and separatists? 1 second. Will he terminate his contacts with the ISI and separatists? Will he revoke his allegiance to Pakistan? Will he owe his allegiance to India as the passport application demands? Will he do that? Will he owe his allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India? Will he say Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India? Will he say so?
You are posing 50 questions.
Sir, I am posing one question. I want Geelani to write that I accept. I'm sorry. All Indian citizens want India to give this Geelani, this anti-national ISI agent, this fraud called Geelani. We want him to write. Sir, we want this ISI agent to write that he accepts Jammu and Kashmir as an integral part of India. Will he write that? D Bakshi, can there be any compromise on that?
It is not new thing for him.
Sir, he has to write that.
So far he was.
I'm sorry. Sir, if he wants to, he can go to Pakistan. We'll be very happy. We'll give him a big send-off. I'll tell you one thing. D Bakshi is coming into the debate. Half the people of India will go to the border to give this man a send-off. We all want to see him in Pakistan.
I would be the foremost amongst them.
And D Bakshi will be the foremost to see this man off to Pakistan.
I would be the happiest.
If you will go through the
record, I will also assure you, Arnab, that within 2 years you will see him applying to come back.
You will find that Geelani Sahab from right beginning to this end. Hello?
Sir, Arnab, can I just interject?
Yeah, go ahead, D Bakshi.
Arnab, can I just interject?
Go ahead, D Bakshi.
Arnab, what I am trying to state is, in the very act of application for the passport, in applying for the passport like any other common citizen of India, he is required to fill Para 11, and Para 11, as you have rightly pointed out, commits him to swear allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. In the very act of the application of the passport, he is required to do that. If he does not do that, I'm afraid he doesn't get a passport. The passport office is fully justified in throwing it back. And if the passport office gives it to him, the rest of us Indian citizens are justified in asking, is this a new category of VVIP privilege?
Absolutely.
Is this a new category of privilege that you shout against this country, you want to break this country up, and you get privilege in return? Where is our sense of proportion? Where is our sense of values? Where is our sense of law, justice and order?
You know,
what
Geelani...
message are you sending to
Geelani, No, I agree with you. Maroof, before I come back to you, I want to once, just for a minute, I want to go back to our lawyer friend in Srinagar who's been making Maulviji a number of comments. You see, sir, there is one option that Geelani has. Actually, go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead, please go ahead. Go ahead, I can wait. Go ahead, Khalid Jehangir.
What JD Bakshi has said, we totally support it. In Kashmir, there are silent voices which represent JD Bakshi. And Congress, this spokesman, what he is telling, he has no right, no moral to say Kashmiris that Congress was good in Kashmir. It is they who were the agents of separatism in Kashmir. They propagated people like Geelani and other separatists in Kashmir. BJP doesn't believe in VIP culture. Everybody should fall in law. Whosoever fall in law, we'll support him.
With the BJP, ever say the Congress was good?
Don't be generic out here. I actually
it was Congress who bore the seeds of separatism in Kashmir.
I have a suggestion out here.
They have no moral right to tell the
Okay, point is taken. I want to go back to Maulvi Ejaz and Maroof Raza, please, gentlemen.
Only you have the moral right.
कोई अपनी बात रखना चाहता है, आप उसको रखने नहीं दे रहे हैं.
Yeah, as a Kashmiri, I have right. I know what the party has done to Jammu and Kashmir since 47. You are an agent of separatism.
Just a minute. One second. Just a minute. Maroof.
Legal opinion. I'm not a politician.
Maulvi Ejaz.
The government of India is duty bound to give him the passport.
Absolutely not.
Denial of the
Absolutely not.
of the fundamental
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What fundamental rights? What are his fundamental duties?
And it is ultra-virus to the Article 370, which links the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir with India.
No, it's not.
That's my legal opinion about it. And you can politicize the legal issue and continue politicizing. That's why at the outset I said that it's not a cup of tea for the politicians to solve the Kashmir problem.
Mr. Maulvi Ejaz, well tried, Maulvi Ejaz. Maulvi Ejaz, the question is very simple. He has an option. I really think Maroof.
Carry on adding fuel to the fire.
Sir, I think Maroof. Sir, understand one thing. If Geelani is not an Indian, if he says I'm not an Indian, see, there are Sir, there are 1.5 million refugees from Afghanistan in Pakistan. Geelani can happily apply for asylum in Pakistan. Geelani can apply for any status in Pakistan. He has an excellent equation with the Pakistani High Commissioner Abdul Basit, who he meets repeatedly. What stops him from appealing to become a Pakistani citizen using his good offices? And if he can give recommendations, to Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists to be given a Pakistani visa, why does he not become a permanent resident of Pakistan?
And citizen of Jammu and Kashmir, Indian occupied this time also. You cannot deny him by virtue of the constitution itself.
I object to him saying so.
You a simple political.
Okay, Maulvi Ejaz.
What is this guy going on?
Maulvi Ejaz.
Extremist politics.
Maulvi Ejaz.
Election.
Maulvi Ejaz.
On the 24th.
Maulvi Ejaz, do you have an Indian passport?
Can you deny them?
Maulvi Ejaz, just 1 minute. Relax, sir. Don't get worked up.
All separatist leaders.
Don't get excited, sir. I'm asking you a question. Maulvi Ejaz.
On 24 seats.
Maulvi Ejaz, do you?
Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Who is going to deny them?
Maulvi Ejaz.
Or government of Pakistan.
Maulvi Ejaz, stop.
Nobody can deny them. That's the legal position.
Okay, first, Maulvi Ejaz, I have a question for you. Will you listen to me or will you go non-stop?
Please do. I have come
if you come to listen to questions, I have a small question to you.
I'm only a legal
so good.
Student,
so my question to you is, please listen, please. Okay, Maroof, I'm coming to you. Maulvi Ejaz, do you have an Indian passport?
Yes, sir.
It should be impounded.
Yes, sir, please ask.
Do you have an Indian passport?
Yes, I have.
Have you signed it? What have you signed? Excellent. Have you signed a section where you say you owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India? Sir, 1 minute. Sir, have you signed a section? Sir, 1 minute. Maulvi Ejaz, have you signed a section in which you have to owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India? Sir, have you signed
above Constitution of India or creature of the Constitution of India?
I'm asking you a question.
This is my question to you. Please answer.
No, I'm asking you a question. Have you signed?
Is this passport act creature of the Constitution of India or it is above Constitution of India?
Sir, the Passport Act is very simple. Unfortunately, you've not read it. That is not my problem. I wish after this program is over, I will send you a copy of the Passport Act.
Those residents in India.
Maroof is coming in. Very simple issue. Attempt to make it complicated. Maroof.
And beyond the territories of India, will understand it through Article 370.
Maroof, I think there is only one clear option here. Maroof, I do not think. I'm coming to you, Maroof. I don't think there is any option right now. The government of India has to make it public. It must say that either he signs in, owes allegiance, and Geelani writes in his own handwriting that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. I owe total allegiance to the sovereignty of India. We will give him a passport. He can apply for a Tatkal passport. Otherwise, he is happy to seek asylum in Pakistan.
Mr. Geelani can challenge the very existence of Passport Act.
Mr. Geelani is a nobody, sir. Mr. Geelani is a nobody, then he doesn't need a passport. Let him go to Pakistan. Let him seek asylum. Let him go to anywhere. Let him go to Timbuktu. Do we care? Please. This is a clear point.
I will advise all of
Maroof
to challenge.
Maroof is coming in. Maroof and D Bakshi, enough, please.
Sir, Mr. Lawyer, sir.
Mr. Maroof Raza, please.
Mr. Lawyer, sir. Arnab,
yes, sir.
Arnab, let me remind the distinguished lawyer that Jammu and Kashmir acceded to the Union of India under Article 306A as a temporary article of the Constitution till it became Article 370 in the Indian Constitution, and Article 370 is not superior to the Constitution of India, which regards Jammu and Kashmir as a territory of the Union of India, and it is not a separate entity that has to be given beyond a point a privileged position which is guaranteed under Article 370. That's the first point. Second point I wish to make, sir, is I think it's not for the distinguished lawyer, but it's for the audience. Sir, please hear me out. Sir, please hear me out. We are listening to you endlessly.
Section 7(1)(b).
Mr. Lawyer,
1947.
Can you please have the courtesy to listen to somebody else?
All the treaties which cancel the treaty.
Arnab, you'll have to shut off his volume. This guy is just not trapping up.
To right to rule. So the very accession. There's the very accession.
I don't understand what super technicality.
I don't get into history because I can also get into history. Please hear me out.
He has acceded on.
We finished with your part of the argument.
When he was having
Sir, please hear me out. We finished with your argument.
15th of August 1947. That's also upheld by the Supreme Court.
Arnab, you cannot have a debate with a man going on and on endlessly.
I appreciate that. Maroof,
Mr. Lawyer, please listen to somebody else.
Maroof, continue.
Sir, the second point I wish to make, Arnab, that whatever the flip-flops of the BJP government when dealing with Pakistan, I think on this issue, the BJP government must be complimented. That they have finally drawn the red line. And we have to enforce this red line for anybody who takes an anti-national stand. In fact, even if Geelani was given a passport earlier, but he's gone back on his commitment to respect the sovereignty of India, his passport can be revoked and withdrawn. So once given is not for life. It is the authority of the government of India or any other sovereign government to revoke a passport whenever they want to. As far as the Congress's claim that the BJP has not done any better with Pakistan, please let me remind Mr. Kalappa that was Manmohan Singh after 26/11 who said that Pakistan uses terror as an extension of foreign policy. And then he goes and says in Bhutan there is a trust deficit. And then he signs a document in Sharm el-Sheikh and gives them another stick to beat us with to say that we are fingering in Balochistan. So what are we talking about? Let's not, throw stones at others when you live in glass houses. Let's get real, sir. The fact of the matter is that this government has decided to take a stand.
Maroof is right. Maroof is right. Brijesh, Maroof is 100% right. Maroof, I let you respond, Brijesh. But let us not forget that Geelani was given clearance. 4 minutes on the debate. Geelani was given clearance for the Hajj pilgrimage in 2005 when the UPA was in power. You bent over backwards more than once. Let us not forget, sir.
But I'd like to let me make a point.
Sir, you are the ones who bent over backwards for Geelani. You did.
If that is the case with Mr. Manmohan Singh, why doesn't he have anything to say about Narendra Modi? Why doesn't Maroof Raza have anything to say about Narendra Modi? Because
I've said they've done. I have said, Mr. Kalappa, if you hear, Mr. Kalappa, if you have the patience, Mr. Kalappa, if you have the patience to hear me, I said, Mr. Kalappa, you hear me out.
Mr. Kalappa,
don't just go on and on.
1 minute, Mr. Kalappa.
What I said was, Mr. Kalappa, I said, despite the flip-flops, they have finally defined the red line. I said, despite the flip-flops, they've defined a red line. So don't go on and on. Your job in the opposition is to be constructive, not to be destructive to national interests. You people are just making noise over everything. When did you deliver? In 10 years you have failed to deliver, and the people of India showed that they don't want you. What are you talking about now?
Absolutely neutral for a moment. Let us be neutral for a moment. Let us not take partisan sides on this debate.
Fair enough. You give me a point, I'll give you a counter.
Although I know your proclivity is to take sides, but let me tell you, let's not take sides on this issue. What is my view on this? I am saying that Geelani.
Okay, Mr. Kalappa, you are the neutral high man, is it?
Far more than revocation of passport.
No, the point is very simple. Maroof, Mr. Kalappa, 1 minute. Mr. Kalappa, I have 3 minutes on the debate. You must let me come in. 1 second. Your position now. No, Maroof, 1 minute.
Just because he's
I will come to D Bakshi also. Gentlemen, just stop for a minute. 1 second. Please stop for a minute. History and facts cannot be changed, Mr. Kalappa. And please listen. Mr. Kalappa, you know, when there is an opportunity, if there is an enemy, Geelani is an enemy. Geelani is an enemy.
This Kalappa has lost
you do not give an enemy a long rope. You bent over backwards for Geelani. You kept giving him clearances. You gave him a passport. You knew that he was in the export-import business for terrorists. You knew he wanted to kill the maximum number of Indians possible. You knew that he was preparing for improvised explosive devices. You knew he was on the payrolls of the ISI. You pampered him, sir. You pampered him, sir.
But you will not say a word about Mr. Modi
is enemy of India.
D Bakshi.
Mr. Kalappa speaks as if butter won't melt in his mouth.
You know, Arnab,
certainly a friend of Pakistan is an enemy of India.
This equivalence, this moral equivalence that we are trying to strike between the Congress regime and the present, dispensation is misplaced. The simple fact of the matter is that Mr. Geelani has acted against the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Not once, but many more times. He has been doing that consistently. Since the Congress regime, he's been doing it now. I think it's about time to pull the carpet from under his feet. He should be put, please Kalappa, let me finish.
Of course.
He should be put on a one-way ticket plane to Pakistan. And Arnab, I promise you, within 2 years you will see this man begging to come back to a democratic country called India. You will see this man Geelani begging on his knees to be allowed to come back to India. Send him to Pakistan where he belongs.
I truly think so.
Send him to Pakistan, which he professes to love so much.
It's time,
Send him there. And
it's time. I'll tell you one thing. There will be a lot of Indians who will say they will fund Mr. Geelani's trip to Rawalpindi. In fact, Mr. Geelani should spend a little bit of time in Rawalpindi. Mr. Geelani should spend a little bit of time in Rawalpindi. He should officially join the ISI, spend some time in the company of the ISI, and then look across the border. He'll learn a lesson. It's time he learns a lesson. Are you among those who believe that Geelani should not be given a passport at any cost unless he owes allegiance to the sovereignty of India? If you are, then you can express your views using the hashtag Geelani loyalty test. I'm wrapping up this debate for now, and with a quick reminder, you can watch all our debates on our new Times Now app. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.